And I'm back. You see, folks, I am actually a Green Lantern. So while Rob thinks he may have killed me, you can't kill anybody in a comic book. Not at all. And so I'm back to life. So I'll get my revenge on Rob eventually, but it's going to take us a little while to build towards that because I need him to be unaware of it. You know what I'm saying? If you're wondering what's going on, go check out the DC Ultimate Recap back on Monday when Rob killed me. And if you have no idea what this show is, this is the Ultimate Marvel Recap, where we go over all of the comic books that came out last week. We give you all of the story points and the spoilers and our own opinions on it, and we let you decide if that's a story you want to read so that you can then go buy the new comic books that come out every Wednesday. So to start off today, I just need to let you know Rand Industries is actually sponsoring this particular video. They are full of honesty and innovation and not in any way, shape, or form shady. I don't know why people assume that just because, you know, an individual came back to life. And anyway, yeah. So we're going to head and move forward to go to Spider-Man Renew Your Vows. Now, in Spider-Man Renew Your Vows number 5, Spider-Man and Mary Jane do the one thing that we never thought we would get to see a married Peter Parker do, and that is have family night at a fine dining establishment that's full of animatronics. You may know individual places like that. They may or may not be scary. And while that's going on, Baby Osborn, as we are now going to call the little kid version of Osborn, is off doing what Osborns do, spoiling the family fun night for Spider-Man. He will kill the Spider Fam. Yeah. Ooh.
Elektra's kidnapped in Elektra number 2, and that's about the only thing that really happens. Seriously. She's thrown into some kind of Wreck-It Ralph meets Hunger Games place called the Murder World, and some guy with a haircut that would rival the visuals of a K concert is shot in the face.
This week, Iron Fist sees its return to the Marvel comic book universe in Iron Fist number 1, where we learn that Danny Rand has lost his ability to use the Iron Fist. So, in an effort to rediscover his chi, he wanders around dark alley bar fights and very expensive back alley cage fights in an effort to reignite exactly what makes him the Iron Fist. However, none of this works. And in the end of our first issue, we see that Danny Rand has made a friend with an invitation to compete in the universe's most prestigious kung fu tournament, and he whisks Danny Rand away to an island that holds kung fu above all else, and promises that by the end of this tournament, Danny Rand will rediscover exactly what makes him a master. Rand Enterprises has recently launched a new line of prestigious bottled mountain spring waters, specifically from the interdimensional East Asian mountain ranges of Kanlan. Available for harvest only every 15 years, Kanlan mountain spring water will leave your skin feeling fresh and rejuvenated, and your insides unusually hydrated. Kanlan mountain spring water. It's really good.
Over in Captain America number 14, we continue the storylines of learning what's happening with the Secret Empire and Captain America's version of Hydra. Here we're introduced to a new version of Madame Hydra. You see, it's not Ophelia, I can't pronounce her name before and I still can't pronounce it now, but it doesn't matter because Madame Hydra is now an individual known as Elisa Sinclair. I still probably mispronounce that as well, but it doesn't matter because she teams up with Taskmaster and a guy known as the Black Ant to reform the High Council of Hydra. Secret Empire better be good.
Unworthy Thor number 5 heralds the return of War Thor, but not before Asgard is returned to its rightful place, an escape from the Collector happens, and Thor gets a new dog. Wow! At the end of all of this, we finally get the answer to the question we have all been asking ourselves since the start of Unworthy Thor, and that is, what exactly did Nick Fury say to Thor that made him feel unworthy to wield the hammer anymore? And those words are, Gar was right. Gar gave Thor an ultimate lecture, basically stating that the gods were vain, spoiled, childish beings, totally unworthy of mortal affection because of their detachment to empathy, their detachment to suffering, and their detachment from what mortality really means. This epiphany led Thor to realize that he was exactly like those gods that Gar so disdained, and it made him feel unworthy. This also ties in really nicely as to why the Hammer, after this moment, would call to Jane Foster, who is the pure embodiment of what it really means to struggle with your mortality and to struggle with your humanity, especially as somebody who is dying of cancer, who is constantly hit with the desperation and the struggle of human impermanence. This was an amazing issue. I highly suggest that you guys pick it up and read it for yourselves. It was completely worth the wait for this reveal. Read it!
Diplomacy is the name of the game in Black Panther number 12 as Amika and T'Challa work together in order to basically preserve Wakanda and stave off the looming threat of sorcery. Speaking of sorcery, are you, much like me, concerned about East Asian mystical ninja clans from other dimensions breaking into your home, maybe killing you or something along those lines? Well, if you, much like me, are afraid of that, then you'll find solace in this device, the Chi Blocker from Rand Enterprises. This device helps to block out the core energy and spirituality of all beings, known as Chi. This small, simple artifact can help keep you and your loved ones safe should you invoke the ire of some mystical ninja clan for reasons that you can scarcely understand, thereby going forward throughout your normal life without having to worry about dying from a dagger to the chest or the heart or a ninja star in the back of your head without ever having heard the sound that killed you.
Tony Stark returns, having hacked the body of his own armor in order to assist in the battle against Tomoe. Really good stuff. At the end of this battle, S.H.I.E.L.D. swoops in for some damage control and actually offers Riri Williams a job. However, Riri Williams turns them down in an incredibly critical way, essentially stating that she does not agree with some of their more underhanded and sometimes totalitarian moves in order to control the world around them and provide safety for the United States. Riri Williams' recruiting agent essentially states, "What are you, on Hydra's side?" And Riri Williams shuts her down, saying that just because she disagrees does not mean that she is allied with the enemy, and it doesn't mean that she will not ally herself with S.H.I.E.L.D. in the future. It simply means that she doesn't want a job with them right now. That's essentially all that happens in the issue, but we are left with Tony Stark contemplating a departure from the digital realm and possibly an attempt to return to the mortal one. We will see what happens with that, but it is shaping up to be most excellent.
Over in Spider-Gwen number 18, we wrap up the storyline of Sitting in the Tree. You know that storyline that was hyping up that Miles and Gwen may end up together as an item in the comic book universe? Haha, relationships never work in comic books. Yeah, well, anyway, she met up with Spider-Pig and her and Miles' children in an alternate universe while Miles and his dad were battling against the villains of this story. Ultimately, Miles and his dad are defeated by Scorpion and Silk from the other dimension where they're super villains and he's got to fight against them, Miles and his dad. Anyway, Gwen shows up with the entire Spider family from the multidimensional world to save the day, because that's how it has to be. If you're going to do a multidimensional Spider person storyline, it has to end with all of the multidimensional Spider people. Anyway, what happens with that is that Spider-Gwen and Miles decide, after seeing everything from them being married to their kids to teaming up with various individuals, that maybe they should just be friends. Because we can't have one awesome relationship in these comics, can we? But you know what? It doesn't matter if we can have relationships in comic books, because today, instead of me joining in on the usual advertising sponsor deal, we're giving them enough space with the other guys. I'm going to tell you about an independent book that you should be checking out yourself. And we're going to try to bring this into every episode from this point forward, independent and other publisher books being promoted in the middle. Today, we're going to be talking about a book called Sweet Lullaby from Darby Pop. Sweet Lullaby is a black comedy spy thriller set in dysfunctional family drama in the middle of modern day You Know Where You Live. Imagine the girl next door, sweet, friendly, and beautiful, is somewhat a sadistic government assassin trying to lead a normal life, even while taking lives. So basically, guys, this is a story about another spy individual, but what I really did enjoy about this is we do a lot of character development on the spy girl. The entire book is set up to be a flashback sequence of things, basically filling you in on her history as we're on the new adventure. It's a cool book. I did enjoy it, and I'm going to give you guys the links down below how you can find it. And if you like it, let me know in the comments down below what you thought about Sweet Lullaby. And of course, that brings us to the close of today's episode. Don't worry, guys, I'll be getting my revenge on Rob eventually. But it doesn't matter, because if you did watch this show today, then you know that we did skip over some comic books. But that's because we may not be following those comic books very tightly and closely to give like really informed opinions, but that doesn't mean we don't know what happened in them. And this is the part of the show where I give you those honorable mentions so that if we're not following it, you still can. Over in Hulk number 4, we see the conclusion to Maze Bruin's story. Yes, I know I mispronounced that, and I do know that in the comic book she even explained how to pronounce it. Anyway, we see the conclusion to her murder, her return to life, and then the pitfall of her case. Over in Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur number 17, Lunella joins the X-Men in this latest issue. They're on a mission to help rebuild Cerebro so that Lunella can help find Dr. Doom and confirm the looming threat that he poses. Rocket Raccoon number 4 has Rocket continuing his adventures on Earth with a botched bounty hunting attempt that ends in an angry mob and the explosion of the Statue of Liberty, because no one cared about that. Over in Prowler number 6, we get the insight into Hobie and Peter Parker's relationship and how he first came to work for Peter and then the aftermath of what happened to him during the clone conspiracy. Over in the Ultimates number 5, Philip Vogt flashed back to a better time, and we get a glimpse of an old fight between the Ultimates and the Troubleshooters. And that's the honorable mentions, guys. That is everything that came out of Marvel as far as we're tracking. Don't forget, if we did forget a book, we will put it into next week's episode or the follow-up episodes, or whenever we get back to that book, we'll say what we missed. Anyway, if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to this channel so that you can see the DC Ultimate recaps on Mondays and the Marvel Ultimate recaps on Tuesdays or Wednesdays. And don't forget, if you want to chat with me, I'm on Twitter at Comicstorian, Caitlin is at That Sea Monster, and Rob is at Comics Explained. And let me know in the comments down below what kind of revenge you think I should get with Rob.